From T-Rex to the Tasmanian tiger, some of these animals have become extinct due to humans, while others have become extinct due to natural causes. Meanwhile, here's what it would take to resuscitate these extinct animals. Do you still miss the mammoth? Have dodo dreams, wishing for a disparate Lycaena? Oh well, join us as we walk you through these animals that you wish still existed. All set? Let's get there. We've been pushing species after species into extinction for ages, yet we're getting dangerously close to bringing some of them back. Scientists worldwide are attempting to revive extinct species by extracting ancient DNA from animal specimens that have gone extinct, thanks to advancements in genetic sequencing and molecular biology. The science is complicated. National Geographic gives a good overview, and so are the ethics. But who can resist making a wish list for extinction? With more species on the verge of extinction every day, there's no shortage of possibilities, but some are better scientifically equipped for revival than others. And even if we could resurrect a species, should we? We asked experts to explain who they wanted to bring back and who should be left in the past. Hey, wait a sec. Before we get straight into these extinct animals, we would like you to take this time out to subscribe to this channel so our channel won't have to go extinct. You got that, right? Oh yeah, and if you just did that, thanks. Now let's get to it. T-Rex, extinct for 65 million years. Tyrannosaurus rex was built for maximum bone-crushing action, meaning it could consume 500 pounds in a single bite. In 1902, the renowned fossil hunter Barnum Brown found the first complete T-Rex bones at Hell Creek, Montana. Brown used horses and dynamite to dig up fossils all throughout North America, including some that were as long as school buses. Rex's status in popular culture makes it rather unexpected that just about 30 further examples have been discovered since then. Now the question is, can we bring it back? In biology, the statement, "you can't clone from stone," is used. T-Rex and the other dinosaurs are unlikely to re-emerge because they have been extinct for at least 65 million years. We may be able to resuscitate virtually all of the species that we eliminated during our relatively recent climb to the top of the food chain. Passenger pigeon, extinct for 100 years. The humble passenger pigeon is claimed to have flown in vast million-bird flocks that filled the North American sky, but it was wiped out in the early 20th century due to poaching and diminishing habitat. Martha, the last passenger pigeon, died at a Cincinnati zoo in 1914. But can we get it back? The DNA of the pigeon, dubbed the poster child for de-extinction, is already being sequenced by experts such as Ben Novak of the University of California, Santa Cruz. Passenger pigeon DNA may be exchanged into comparable portions of modern-day pigeon DNA. Novak is interested in the band-tailed species prevalent in the western United States to make passenger pigeon stem cells, according to National Geographic. These cells are transformed into germ cells before being implanted into contemporary pigeon eggs. When the eggs hatch, seemingly ordinary contemporary pigeon offspring will emerge, yet they will be brimming with passenger pigeon germ cells. According to the notion, when this new generation mates, it will give birth to baby passenger pigeons. David Ehrenfeld, a biologist, isn't certain this is such a smart idea. Who's going to mother the baby passenger pigeon, he wonders, pointing out that the band-tailed pigeon flies, mates, sings, and feeds in a different way than the passenger pigeon. Saber-toothed tiger, extinct for about 10,000 years, up until around 10,000 years ago, when it and many other species inexplicably went extinct at the end of the last ice age. The saber-toothed tiger was a little but deadly machine that roamed all over North America, hunting bison, gigantic sloths, and small mammoths. The Greek terms chisel and tooth are combined to form the genus name Smilodon, despite the fact that a modern lion's bite is most likely 3 times more powerful than an ancient Smilodon's. Is there a way we can get it back? The state fossil, 2,000 saber-toothed fossils, have been found in the La Brea tar pits in Southern California. At 10,000 years old, they probably contain recoverable DNA. However, no scientist has really tried to replicate it thus far. Dodo, extinct for 332 years. In the past, dodos were exclusively found in the forests of the stunning remote Indian Ocean island of Mauritius. According to historical reports, they are sluggish, ungainly, and pretty stupid, yet they nonetheless provide a handy, if unappealing, source of protein on islands. After arriving in the 17th century, Dutch colonists devoured the last of them in less than 40 years. Is it possible for us to get it back? A completely whole specimen hasn't been found since tropical havens like Mauritius don't make excellent fossil repositories. Although Oxford geneticists have managed to reconstruct some dodo DNA from a beak, the bird's awkward size and low genetic variety caused by its limited population size may make reproduction difficult. Great auk, extinct for 170 years. Great auks, which range from Canada to Scotland, were formerly known as the penguins of the Northern Hemisphere. However, auks were hunted by humans in the prehistoric era, and by the 17th century, they were restricted to a small number of locations while still being a highly sought-after source of meat and oil. In 1775, Newfoundland made a fruitless attempt to persuade the English to refrain from killing auks. It is thought that Iceland was the site of the last big auks shooting in 1844. Is it possible for us to get it back? The Great Alaska Project is my dream project to start, says Stuart Brand, whose preservationist Long Now Foundation manages the de-extinction initiative, Revive and Restore. We were unable to locate any ongoing attempts to bring the great auk back from extinction. Although there are over 80 stuffed great auks in museums all across the world that may be able to assist scientists in sequencing their DNA, Peran Ibex extinct for 13 years. Up until a little more than 10 years ago, the Peran Ibex, also known as a bucardo, was a wild goat that grazed the Spanish highlands. During the 20th century, hunting reduced the population. There were very few remaining by 1989. Until she was murdered in 2000 by a fallen tree, Celia, the only remaining bucardo, was traced by wildlife vets around national parks in Spain. Is it possible for us to get it back? By cloning Celia, scientists were able to bring the Peran Ibex back from extinction in July 2003. They created 439 eggs with Celia's DNA using frozen skin samples, and 57 of those nuclei matured into embryos inside surrogate moms. One was born, and the other 5 made it to term. Regretfully, the newborn clone was unable to breathe correctly since it had an additional, non-functioning lung when it emerged. She passed away in the arms of one of the scientists who made her, only minutes after her birth. Giant ground sloth extinct for 10,000 years. Saber-toothed cats and mastodons were extinct at the same time as giant sloths, so it's likely that they shared more traits with contemporary elephants than they did with their cuddly contemporary counterparts. According to mammologist Ross McPhee of the American Museum of Natural History in New York, which has one of the best collections of fossils from these 20-foot behemoths that once roamed from Cape Horn to the Arctic Circle, these beasts weighed up to 4 tons and had enormous claws. Is it possible for us to get it back? Although it's a difficult process, McPhee and his colleagues are working to piece together the DNA of the sloth from skin fragments that have been preserved in South America. Furthermore, sloths nowadays are too small to be suitable substitute parents. Besides, it's unclear what humans would gain by reintroducing gigantic sloths, according to McPhee. Introducing recently extinct sloths, such as the cow-sized Shasta ground sloth, which disperses endangered tree seeds as it eats the foliage, offers a higher return on investment potential. Orox, extinct for 400 years. Those who have seen the 2012 film Beasts of the Southern Wild may recall the legendary Orox that came back to pursue Hushpuppi from antiquity. Vietnamese potbelly pigs were wrapped in nutria skins by the producers in order to replicate the enormous monsters for the movie. The 17th century saw the extinction of these forebears of contemporary cattle owing to habitat loss, sickness, and hunting. Is it possible for us to get it back? In an effort to gradually reverse engineer the extinct beast, a group of European scientists called Project Tauros intends to backbreed cow species with characteristics resembling those of the aurochs. According to Stuart Brand of the Long Now Foundation, it's straightforward trait selection. They are going back to it trait by trait because the characteristics of the aurochs are very well documented. Additionally, in an effort to determine the precise cause of the gigantic cattle's extinction, Polish researchers intend to attempt to breed a creature that shares 99% of its genes with an auroch. Neanderthals, extinct for 28,000 years. Homo neanderthalensis, our closest human cousin, was stockier and shorter than modern humans, yet it had the same size brain, dressed, created art, and buried its dead. While some argue that Neanderthals couldn't compete with modern humans due to their superior social networks and ability to survive in hostile situations, others contend that Neanderthals became extinct as a result of mating with humans until none survived. Is it possible for us to get it back? Although it would be challenging to piece together fragments of Neanderthal DNA, Harvard geneticist George Church offers an alternative solution: modify our DNA to make it more similar to that of Neanderthals. However, there isn't much support in the scientific community for a return to Neanderthal times. Reliability-wise, it's too risky, both for the Homo sapiens mother and for the Homo neanderthalensis fetus, according to de-extinction ethicist and Stanford law professor Hank Greeley. Tasmanian tiger, extinct for about 70 years. The Tasmanian tiger, which had a wolf-tiger hybrid appearance, was really more closely related to the koala or kangaroo. This tiger was also more reserved and quiet than its relative, the Tasmanian devil, and it was usually silent. The thylacine, which is thought to have eaten sheep, was probably driven extinct by humans hunting kangaroos, small rodents, and birds, as well as by competition from the dog. Though it passed away at a Hobart, Tasmanian zoo, the final Tasmanian tiger is preserved digitally on film. Is it possible for us to get it back? 4 samples of 100-year-old Tasmanian tigers were used by Australian researchers in 2008, and a copy of the DNA was put into some mice. The method produced some fascinating scientific discoveries about the long-extinct species, but it turned out that the DNA samples were too damaged for a successful complete clone. Although Penn State University researchers have also investigated the possibility of obtaining DNA from the tiger's hair, cloning remains unlikely in the absence of a closely matched surrogate. Giant rodent, extinct for 2-4 million years. With gigantic fangs, experts believe this rodent, which resembled a bull-sized guinea pig, fought off saber-toothed cats. Josephoartigasia mons, measured from snout to tail at 10 feet, was estimated to weigh up to a ton, based on a well-preserved skull found in Uruguay by a hobby paleontologist. The considerably smaller capybara, which is its contemporary relative, is still found in South America. Is it possible for us to get it back? Not likely. There aren't many specimens to give scientists DNA from, and there aren't any huge hamsters around to serve as surrogate moms for the giant rodent offspring of today. Haast's eagle, extinct for 500 years. Haast's eagles were rumored to have stolen human babies, but the 9-foot-long bird's primary food source was moa, which are enormous emus that may weigh up to 300 pounds. About 1300 AD, the Maori came in New Zealand, gradually driving the moa and the Haast's eagle to extinction. Is it possible for us to get it back? Not without moa to eat nearby, and at the moment, no initiatives are being undertaken to bring either species back from extinction. If you were given a chance to bring one of these animals back, which one would it be? Let us know your answer in the comment section. Now, do you want to see the combat between the polar bear and the grizzly bear? It's on your screen. Go watch it now.